Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live today. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please wave at me if you can hear me on Instagram. Instagram, say hello if you can hear me. If you can hear me loud and clear. If I'm audible, please say hello back. Sound check, Instagram. I know Facebook and YouTube are good. Yes, you can. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Welcome. It's Monday, and I'm bringing my Monday energy to you this afternoon. Yes, hello. Monday energy in the afternoon. I would have come live. So this week, guys, I'm going to be live, of course, as usual, but I'm going to be coming on later in the afternoon. So let's just take a note of that later in the afternoon, because this week I've committed to serving the children of my church community for VBS. It's Vacation Bible School. So I've committed to serving along with my kids for the whole week. You know, one of the things that I was talking to my children, or my son, my oldest one, about is, you know, at his age now, I expect that we should be having some very thought-provoking conversations where, you know, he brings me some ideas that he has and we run it through and we brainstorm around, you know, just thinking that, you know, you need to start rising up and stepping up to the occasion and doing a lot more of the things that I've been teaching you to do all these years. And one of the things that we discussed today was the fact that as human beings, our lives are not really intended for us to have, just for us to make something out of it. Don't get me wrong. That's the first place. You need to start by making something out of your life. And then once you make something out of your life, you focus on 3 areas. Of course, actually, there are 13 dimensions that we focus on. But when we take all of those 13 dimensions of human achievement and we break it down or break it up, I actually want to pull up those 13 dimensions so I can share with you, because I always cite them on my videos, but I want to make a point to share those 13 dimensions with you today. So you focus on 3 specific areas. Service to God. That is number 1. Your life is supposed to serve God, okay? I know some people, a lot of people, or popular opinion on social media might say, oh, there's no God. Everybody just do you, you know, be real. If you think you're a dog, live as a dog. If you think you're a cat, live as a cat. But hey, I am still very much of the persuasion that all humans come from God, and to him we will return. He's the gift giver. He gives us this life every day. It's a gift that we don't even know how it happens, but it happens. Hello, welcome. And he gives it to us. So I want to share these 13 dimensions and areas of human achievement that we all need to be very mindful and aware of, right? Today we're going to dive into the topic, but just bear with me 1 second while I pull it up from my notes. Usually I speak without notes, but today I need these notes because I need to share with you. Area number 1, there is God, Timoji. Yes, so there is God, and he is God Almighty, Baba God. Twale to you. All right, so love. Area number 1 is love. Area number 2 is life vision. What is the vision for your life? And I'm going to do a live on all of this. This is how basically I created this template, guys. I created this template and I have it for free for you on my website. So if you actually want to, I'm actually going to give it as a free gift. So anybody that wants this and you DM me the word gift to register for your DYG challenge, I'm going to be giving away these templates as well as a freebie for you to use for your self-assessment. Because, you know, as an entrepreneur, as an individual, you should really be doing reflection every day as you journal and as you reflect, but then just doing a really deep dive reflection to assess where you are, where your goals are. You know, you wrote those goals at the beginning of the year. Now the year is halfway through. Where are you? What have you done? What are some obstacles? What are some things that you're being challenged by? And in what areas? It's not enough for us to focus on the money and the success and some other things that we focus on, but let's get to this list. Number 1 is love. Number 2 is your life vision. Number 3 is spirituality. Number 4 is parenting and family. So even if you are not a parent, you are a child of somebody. You did not drop from heaven. Family, you belong to a family. So that applies to everyone. I just needed to clarify that. Social life. Health and fitness. Health is wealth. Emotional health, emotional intelligence. I teach that class. If you need me to come get your teams and get them right with emotional intelligence to increase productivity and profit, I got you. Intellectual life, like how are you really bringing those brain cells up to speed? How are you really developing yourself, developing your worldview? How much more new knowledge are you acquiring every day? Career and finances. Everybody needs help. I need help. We all need help in that area. Quality of life. Quality of life is not the size of your house or the car that you drive. Quality of life is so many things, guys, that a lot of people do not understand. Character. Character. We all definitely need work in that area. Trust me. Nobody is perfect, but then we can all work towards progress every day. We can all make better choices. We can all treat each other the way we want to be treated. We can all lend a helping hand. We can all smile more often. We can all be kind to each other, right? Service to humanity. Yes, service to humanity. That's my list, guys. It's a beautiful list that allows you to do a quarterly report card for yourself, an annual report card for yourself, just pretty much helping you get yourself on track and just stay accountable, not just to yourself, but to your entire life. So people focus on specific areas. We focus on life. We focus on love. We focus on money. We focus on career. We focus on family, but we leave out other areas and we assume that they don't exist. They do exist. But in all of our focusing and all of our movement and all of our creativity and, of course, engagement in all of those dimensions of human experience, we have to really be aware of this, and which is what brought me back to my son's story and our conversation this morning. I said, son, listen, your life is not about you, because, of course, we're going to this VBS. And I was thinking as I was driving for almost an hour, because we have to get through Monday morning traffic. So I was like, gosh, this might actually be the last year that I get to do this with my kids. So I'm going to be intentional, because I know for a fact, I don't know, but I do know, and I feel it in my spirit. The discernment, the Holy Spirit in me is telling me that after this year is over, with all of the achievements that will be going forward, the following year is just going to be a year of fast moving growth and just expansion. Our God is ever expanding. He remains the same, but he's ever expanding. The universe that he's giving us is ever expanding. So for me, God is already speaking in my spirit that for 2025, it's going to be my year of expansion and growth. And I'm thinking, okay, where we did say we never manage them, but God never lies. And I know that he always speaks the truth. And I'm able to confidently share this with you, because one of the things that I've been dealing with is the spirit of fear. As in, and not fear because I'm afraid, but fear because sometimes I question myself in the things that I know God has allowed me to do. And I'm thinking, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Sometimes your vision starts getting bigger and bigger, and you start moving in strange dimensions of favor, where you now begin to pause and really catch yourself. So now I'm really being bold by the Spirit of God to speak what he shares in my heart. Of course, the things that he allows me to share. I'm not sharing everything. I'm not going to share my whole life on social media. I will never do that. And I know God does not want us to do that. We have to be mindful to curate our lives in the public space very intentionally. We share what we think we need to share. There are a lot of things that God intends for us to hold back, because there's certain things, even with God, there's certain things that he withholds, that he keeps, and he hides it, and he only reveals it to those that truly, truly love him. Because now you have built a track record of trust with him. Now he can expose you to certain truths. He can expose you to certain secrets. He can expose you to certain plans that he's making. And that is why Abraham, the friend of God, had that kind of privilege, because he had built a track record of trust and obedience with God. So back to the topic, right? So going into next year, I'm sharing that with you so that way, because I need us to begin to have a bigger vision of our lives from day to day, week to week, month by month. It doesn't matter what it looks like on a more cellular level, where things are like not, when you are in the frame of your life, you don't really see how fast your life is moving. When you are in the frame of your life, you don't really appreciate how well or how big you're getting until maybe after a certain time periods have passed, and then you sort of look back and you start counting those achievements, right? But today we're going to be talking about the fact that you die looking like your choices. You die looking like your choices. So while it seems almost impossible for us as humans to measure our day-to-day, month-to-month growth, of course you can do that in certain areas. But what I'm saying is a holistic perspective of who you are. At least for me, a lot of times when I look at my life, I often, because of the way my mind is shaped and because of the vision that I have set for myself, I often second guess. Again, like I said, I feel like it's not enough. It's not as big as I think it should be. It's not as great as I think it should be. But then when I get a bit of report card from people who are observing, people who are following, people who are a part of my life and my community, trusted associates, trusted friends, people who I can really trust their judgments. It's not that they're coming here to massage my ego, or they're coming here to condemn me because they have bad blood. These people are just here for me, right? They're here for all of it, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. So whether you do well or not, they're here. Whether you do greater and greater and greater, they are here. So I always check with them and they tell me things and I'm like, oh, wow, I really don't see it that way. But then I realized that the choices that I have made in my past have given me some of the results, or a lot of the results that my today is living, for good or for bad. There are certain areas in my life that I am still like, God, I need to figure this out. Because one thing I know is there is nobody that has autonomy on perfection, whereby every single area of their life is fine, smooth, going and everything. Although with God on your side, with the Holy Spirit on the inside of you, God working with you every single day, honestly, your path will shine brighter and brighter. You will get better and better. It can only get better, right? Even when it gets really, really bad, trust me, it's getting bad for it to get great and good, for it to get better. So even when a person who supposedly believes in God and people say, oh, I thought you said you're a woman of faith. Oh, I thought you said you're a man of faith. Why does your life look XYZ? God is very intentional about each of us. So how and why he deals with everyone the way he does, nobody can really question it. Nobody can really explain it. But the only thing that you have control over is your choice. The only thing that you have absolute control over is your choice. There are certain extenuating circumstances, like I said. Thank you so much for joining me on live today on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You guys are awesome. There's so many extenuating circumstances that we humans have no control over. As much as we like to think that we got this, we're good, I can do bad all by myself. Sometimes let me set you a little bit and go for my sisters, my beautiful sisters, right? I used to be of the mindset of talking about the fact that, oh, we're bosses, boss chick. But, I've kind of discarded that phrase. I don't use it anymore. I'm not boss of anything. I'm not boss chick. I'm not boss lady. I'm not alpha female. I'm not nothing. I am who God says I am. I am a female. I am a feminine female. I am a child of God. I am a woman. I am supposed to be put under the covering and protection of a man. Now, while I don't have a man yet, I am under the protection and covering of my Father. So I still have a man who covers me. So when we make these choices and we say all of the things that we say, we have to be very mindful of it. We die looking like the choices that we have made. And what really made me segue to the women is because I feel it's important for us to hear it from ourselves, from women like us who have had a God encounter, with understanding this female movement that we are creating. and mentoring these young girls who are now having a mindset of thinking that the only thing they have to offer, the choices they have to make, is the only choice of the external, my beauty, my body, my features. That's all I have to offer. That's the only thing that makes me woman. No, you are woman because you are a specially crafted part of God's agenda in the world. You are crafted to be female, and your femininity is what makes you special. But your femininity functions holistically. Your feminine side, your womanhood, your feminine person, your female person. And I'm using all of these adjectives so that maybe some people might have a discussion of what, look, feminine, female, like your feminine, your female gender, born, natural, born female. I'm not discriminating anybody, but I need to be clear on who I am addressing in this moment. Women, we are created to be under the guidance and covering of a man. That is why we are called woman. And then the man has a hood. So manhood. So his manhoodness is supposed to be hooded over us, to cover, to protect, to preserve, to do everything that a man is supposed to do. That's not what this life is about. But let's just be very clear on that when you're making these choices, you die looking like your choices. So let's not go through life making the wrong choices, especially when the choices we are making is leading other people to the gates of hell. It's leading other people opposite of the direction of the purpose that God has for them. Because the reality of the matter is, whether you know it or not, if your actions and your utterances and your choices are responsible for leading other people in whatever way they're going, you are also going to answer for that. Everyone will answer for their choices. So just to kind of drop that there so my sisters can know that, listen, let's get into a new dispensation of making better choices, using our femininity for the purpose of our Father. So right now, like me, if you are a single woman who is doing everything for yourself, look, you are still supposed to be under the covering of a man. And for me right now in this season, before, of course, regardless of whether I have a husband or not, we're all still going to be under the covering of God, because a man that comes in here has to be led by him so he can cover me right. He ain't gonna cover me right if he ain't covered by God. So for now, I am covered by God. So I'm not a boss lady. I'm not a boss chick. There was a time when it seemed cool to be that person, to really champion that movement of alphaness and things. No. But when you know better, you do better. So now in this season, I'm making better choices. And I think it behooves me to be able to clarify that with my audience, to say, look, there was a thought process that I had in the past that you might have heard from me. But now in this season, going forward, there is a new thought process that I have come into, and I'm sharing that with you so that way we can make better choices together, because we die looking like the choices we have made. And I don't want to get to the end of my life knowing that the choices I made led someone else astray. Hi, Dr. Julia, my darling. I don't want to die looking like, oh, I'm the one female that had a platform. God gave me a voice, and the only thing I shared was toxic femininity, and I led other women and I led other people in the wrong direction. So I hope we can all get that right. So we die. Thank you, Stylish Leadership. Thanks for your engagement. We die looking like our choices. So I told my son today, I said, listen, we are here in this world. I'm going to take this time, this year, to serve with you guys, because I just know in my spirit that the coming years are going to be very busy. Thank you. Yes, the coming years are going to be very busy. Expansion and growth is coming, because God has a lot of work for us to do. And the reality of the matter is, I told him, I said, seed time and harvest time is interesting. When you make a choice to plant a seed for success in life, the harvest might come quickly, because God decides to make it quick, depending on what you're planting. Some people are planting corn. Corn takes about, I think it's a 90-day cycle. Every 90 days, we're getting corn. And then some people are planting a bamboo tree, something that is supposed to be self-sustaining for legacy and for so much more beyond themselves. So now that bamboo tree will take years to gain root. And then after it gains root in about 3 years or so, then it starts to shoot up quickly. And it's like, oh, wow, we thought you was dead. We thought that seed was dead. No, but the choice for a bamboo tree to gain root is because of its assignment. So whatever choices you're making today, you know, when we're born, we look like our parents. And for the first couple of years, you can blame your parents for everything that happens to you under the sun. You can blame them for how you look and how you don't look. You can blame them whether you eat well or you don't eat well. You can blame them for everything under the sun. If you are fortunate enough to have them around to blame, because I also clarified with my son that there is a wonder under the earth where children are born on the streets. Like even in this United States, you have children who are born and they have no parent to claim them, or their parents abandon them and they have to grow up in the foster care system. That means the government will be responsible for them. But some of those children make choices that ensures that a child growing up in the foster system, not having identity of parenting from anybody, but just having to get by from the system of the world taking care of it. And that child makes a choice to become the president of a nation. That child makes a choice to become the governor of a state. That child makes a choice to become a multi-billion-dollar entrepreneur. That's a choice. He made those choices and heaven backed him up. Heaven backed her up. And then the same child in the same foster system can make choices that will lead them in the prison system, that they are going in and out of jail, that they are into prostitution, they are into human trafficking, they are into all of these things. So I educated my son. Yes, sir, it's important. Our children get their first education from us. And I said, look, the choices you are making today, you have to become very aware. Right now, you're starting early. And I was very vulnerable to share that I really did not come into my own to know exactly what I was supposed to be doing until the third decade. Like in the third decade of my life was when I started asking very critical questions. Beyond what I knew my parents had given, beyond the opportunities and the privileges they had given me. And it wasn't because my parents were bad parents. They just didn't know what to do with me. They were raised in a generation where all you did was give your children education, love them as much as you can, give them all of the things of life, and then send them on their way. Tell them that they had to grow up, get an education, work, make money, and leave. But now I'm in an era where getting an education, making money, working, and living is no longer going to cut it. Yes, you get the education. Yes, you work. But the system has turned around where now I am teaching my kids that making money is not for you to live. Making money is for you to invest and multiply that money so that that money can give you the options to do more than what you need to do for yourself, because you're not living for yourself. You are living in service to God. You are living in service to your family, and you are living in service to humanity. Life is all about service. Some people choose the other way, but this is my choice that I'm making, and that's what I'm sharing with you. I want to die looking like the choices that I have made, that I have committed my lifetime to service to God, because He put me here. He put me here for an assignment, and I don't want to get back to Him and have to report to Him and say, well, Lord, while I was there on earth, I came into this world, and, it was such a good world, there were so many beautiful Gucci bags. There were so many Louis Vuitton purses. I mean, all the Brazilian hair was calling me. There was so much goodness in the world. Lord, you made the world a really beautiful place. And we had so much luxury that I just could not, all the money that I was making, I really had to have it all. I had to have it all, and I had to keep having more and more and more and more. But I want to go back to Him and say, okay, Lord, you gave me this life, and you gave me certain gifts. You served me with gifts. You blessed me. You gave those gifts to me, and you sent me on assignment. And I can honestly report to you that my gifts were able to establish about 10 businesses. I can tell you that. You already know, but let's just talk about what my gifts were able to do. My gifts, according to data and statistics, was able to bless a couple of millions of people on earth. There were billions, but at least I was able to reach millions, because I think that was as far as my capacity could go. And then I can talk about the fact that my gifts was able to help my children learn to serve Him, learn to serve people, learn to love God, learn to love. Those are the conversations I want to have at the end of my life. Those are the things that I want my children and I to sit down when I'm old and gray, and they're like, Mama, your grandbabies are here. I'm like, oh, where are my grandbabies? Oh, let me tell you some stories about Mama. And my kids can sit down and talk about me with their children. Say, man, she used to give us some speeches. She was always on me. She was always telling me I needed to invest my money. My mom showed me how to open up my first investment account. She got me my first job. She taught me to drive. I don't know where I would be today if not that my mom taught me all these things, and I'm doing the same thing for you. You know, those are conversations that I want to have when my children are all grown, when they bring their wives into the family, when their children begin to come into this world, and we can sit down from one generation to the next, and I can show them how my mom taught me to pray. And I can say, your grandmother was a prayer warrior. She used to put your dad, all of your uncles, and they used to have a hallelujah praise every day. I can, you know, those are the stories I want to tell, because that is what I want to grow old looking like. That's what the choices I want to make. Very substantial things. I don't think my kids are going to care that, oh, in 2014, mom was driving a Lexus, and then in 2020, she started driving a Lamborghini. They're not going to care about those things. They're not going to care about those things. They're going to remember the experiences I was able to give them. Yes, if I was able to take them on a trip and put them on a private jet, they're going to remember that. But in order for me to do that, I have to make the choices that allows me to give them those experiences. And those experiences are not intended for them to have it so they can feel like they're better than anyone else. It's intended for them to have it so they know that God always gives the best gifts to his children. And if God gives the best gifts to his children, when his children do the right thing, so they can see the process of mommy worked, she made money, she earned, she grew her money, she multiplied, and then she was able to afford a certain lifestyle for us. And that is the order of things. They're not going to think, oh, I'm entitled. Mommy has all this money, daddy has all this money, whoever, I'm going to wait to inherit it so that way when they're gone, I can live the good life. No. They're going to understand the culture, hard work. They're going to understand the culture, discipline. They are going to understand the culture, delayed gratification. These are the kind of conversations I'm having with my kids right now. Because when I get to the end of my life, I want them to understand that these are the conversations that matter. These are the kind of meetings that we have in our family because we really want to be focused on purpose-driven lives. So what I want to look like when I die, oh my goodness, I want that picture to be very pretty, but not the way you think, though. I don't want to have all the jewels. Yes, it would be nice to have them. I love jewelry. Y'all can already tell I love bling. You look behind me, look at all those photos taken in different eras and different events and different moments in my life the past couple of years. So you can tell that I love nice things. And I know that God loves me to have nice things. But the reality of the matter is, I don't want my life I don't want that to be the first thing you see when you see me. I don't want that to be the first thing that comes in front of you when I am presented in the world. So guys, listen, we're born looking like our parents. We are born looking like our parents, which is amazing. I know that I got all my beautiful features from my mom. My grandmother, she was Igbo. My mom is Yoruba Igbo. And now I am a Yoruba Igbo, Yoruba. I don't even know. But you know, the bloodline has given me all of this. And I am so grateful. The bloodline has also given me a lot that I have to fight against. So that my children don't have to fight it. So the bloodline has given me a lot that I have to deal with. But my choice is standing in the gates and fighting so that my children don't have to fight those battles. My choice is cleansing and purifying my bloodline by the blood of Jesus, ensuring that there are things that were transferred to me, but they never get transferred over. My choice is to fight the battle of conquering poverty and mediocrity and lack of achievement and all of these things so that my children can take it as a springboard and rise to the greatest levels beyond my greatness. My choice is to come on here every day to share my gift with the world. And as I share my gift with the world, I want to ask you a question. Do you even have a gift to share with the world? That's a good rhetorical question because I will answer it for you as well. Yes, you do. Yes, you have a great gift to share with the world, but are you already sharing it? And even, let me not say, do you even know what that is? What is it that you carry and you've always carried from the moment you cried out when your mother put you on this earth? What is it that you carry that other people absolutely need? Everybody around you needs your gifts. The world needs what you have to carry. If the world did not need it, trust me, you will not be here. And the fact that you are still here, living and breathing, is a testament to the fact that your gift is still required to make this humanity thing we're trying to figure out work better for us. So if you don't know what your gifts are, I have a DYG challenge, Discover Your Gift Challenge, opening up July 1st. Opening up July 1st, and I cannot say this enough. You need to be in that challenge, because if you're a person that I'm talking to who is of a certain age, like my son, you're Gen Z, you're Generation XYZ, and you're really getting to the point in life where you're beginning to see that you're going to have to launch out in life, but you don't even know what it is you're supposed to do. You need to take this challenge so you can discover your gift early and start making an impact early. Time is still on your side. Even though I can say this by the help of God, nobody knows tomorrow. So even if I say time is on your side, you might not even have as much time as I think you have. So you might be young, but some people die young. Babies die, unfortunately. So nobody really has that control over time. But I can say time is on your side because you are still in the morning season of your life. Another thing I shared with my son today, you're still in the morning season of your life. So if you're in the morning season, the morning is for hard work, is for labor, is for stepping out and doing the hustle and bustle. That's when people wake up and go. Then the afternoon comes when we get into our 50s and our 60s, where the sun is so hot, the pressure gets worse and worse. Things are getting tough, and people are now realizing, oh my God, retirement is a couple of years away. I don't have much. My kids are getting older. I don't have anything in legacy to hand over to them. My life is not going to be looking good when I get to the later part of my years, because guess what? I haven't produced much. Yes, I've made a lot of money, but what have I really done in the area of humanity, of purpose-driven? How have I served the world around me? Have I really been on this job for 30 years and I really know that this is not what I was supposed to be doing? At that point, people get pressured. They want to run helter-skelter. That's when that's when they want to have this midlife crisis, because they're searching for something. Midlife crisis is an indication that that person is asking these questions that they don't have answers to. So they go into crisis mode. So they do extreme things. They buy extreme gifts for themselves, or they get out and do some weird things that people are like, what's going on with you? What's happening? And everyone around them starts asking questions. But the reality of the matter is emotional intelligence, and of course, being able to understand certain psychology of human mind, to understand that this person is in crisis mode and they have questions that they don't have answers to. And the sooner one can get them help to get the answers, the sooner they can balance out and keep moving on with life. And then the evening comes. Oh, the evening. The evening comes when you get in retirement, 60s and 70s, and you look around and your strength has waned a lot. There's not a lot of agility in the body. And that person starts to have a lot of regrets because they don't know if they're going to even make it one more day, because, it's the evening. Anything can happen at any time. And at that point, it seems like, well, it is what it is. It is what it is, and people just give up. Someone like Colonel Sanders, who is the founder of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, he could have given up at 70, but he did not, because it's never too late to start living a purposeful life. So if you're a Gen Z leader, get in my DIYG challenge and get started. If you're a stay-home mom who is in whatever age you're in, and all you do is, still haven't discovered your gifts and you just feel like there's more, some of the questions that I've asked today on this live, they're probing in your heart, and there's more, or you feel like you're not serving your kids and your family the best way you need to, get in the DYG challenge. Clarity will come. Your gifts will come alive, and you'll begin to do the best you need to do. Or if you're just a human being just working, and you know that in the marketplace, you're occupying someone else's position because you're not really working at that job that you know that you're uniquely gifted to create feasible solutions to, get in this challenge. It's for you. And we're going to walk through everything together. The DYG challenge, I'm excited for it, but also I'm humbled by it, because it just seems a lot to assume that you can be the conduit and the instrument that God uses to help people turn on the light bulb to that which he put on the inside of them. So I humbly just move forward with this thing, just letting you guys know that just like you, I really had to discover my challenge. And regardless of what the outcomes have been, I have continued to relentlessly plant seeds, purposeful seeds that I know will birth a huge harvest for me. When it happens, I don't know, but it's happening every day. With the feedback that I get, with the testimonials that I receive from people. I ran into someone yesterday. She saw me. She was like, I know you. I was like, oh, you do? Probably. So she was like, no. You preached at my church a couple of years ago. And that was her testimony. She said, you preached at my church a couple of years ago. I was like, yeah, that's true. And you're wearing white today. That's how I really identified, because the time you came to preach at my church, you were also wearing white. I said, yeah, I come to churches to preach and I try to be angelic. I mean, I just made a joke out of it. But she said, look, your message back then really impacted my life. You spoke on some things about therapy and mindset. And she remembered, even I didn't remember, but when she started to remind me, I was like, oh, I do remember now. And she was like, your message really made an impact on me. And that's why I was able to remember you today. And I just want to say thank you. And I was like, whoa, I love that. See, the seed was planted years ago, but the harvest came yesterday when I heard her testimony. That's an harvest. You know, harvest is not always money and things. Harvest is when you see and you hear what people are feeling and doing because you came across their path, because God thought it enough for you to be an instrument and a vessel in his hands to use to bless, because you were bold enough to take your gift and use it for his glory. So that's what I want to teach you guys in the DYG challenge, guys. It's July 1st through the 3rd. Comment gift in my DM. So DM me on Instagram to get a link to join the challenge. DM me in my Instagram to get a link. Dr. OJ Speaks, the same handle. And of course, do well to follow me on all social media platforms. If you love my messaging, if you love the content that I'm sharing, if it resonates with you, follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's grow together. As always, you guys know I love you so much, and I will be back again on another live to share some more thoughts and prayers with you. So God bless you. Remember, you might have been born looking like your parents, or some people just don't look like their parents, maybe they look like their grandparents, but you die looking like your choices. So make those choices count. You want to look pretty when you die. And pretty ain't physical. You want to look pretty in your soul. You want to look pretty in your spirit. You want to look pretty in your mind. You want to look pretty on the inside, knowing that you have loved. Absolutely. You have forgiven always. And you have done all that you can to be of help to people. Bye, guys.